man, what a delay that was. Jeez. What a delay. Make this thing set up quick. All the sharp instruments, I need them right there. Hello, Michael. Good evening. How are you, my friend? Just let me turn this music down. Actually, we'll pause it. I can pause that crap. We'll shut it down. We'll shut it down. I'm just getting some tools back out. Hope everything is well. What do I need out? I think most of that crap, we'll just leave that junk in there for now. Those are nice to have out, but I can get them if I need them. I do need this switch. Alright, get this shit out of the way. I have a spot to set my laptop now. Hurrah! You're good? That's awesome, man. I'm not the quickest at reading chat. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed, but yeah. I'm impressively bad at keeping up with chat. See if we can get going here on this one thing. It shouldn't be hard, and then I think I'm going to look at a switch. Does it give us power? Tell me that powers this thing up. Yes? Alright. Alright. Let's get YouTube pulled up on a different computer. Wrong browser. I did it twice in a row. Alright, YouTube. Check out this ancient piece of Apple technology I had to get out yesterday. We do have cameras working. Display, or what is that? Mini display port to DVI, and then we adapted over to HDMI. Hey, old crap. There we are. Alright, this thing is muted, just so I can follow along. Alright, let's get this out. Here's what we're going to go over first and foremost. We got a CPU, make sure these cameras are actually working. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, yes, 4, alright. So this is bought, is damaged. Guy dropped it off. He lives local here. He comes in from time to time with products, and he bought it with bent pins and wasn't confident he could straighten them by naked eye, so we're going to go ahead and get it under the scope. Something, and I don't think there's any official tool for this. You can just grab it with tweezers, whatever you can really get to yank on pins. If you don't want to wiggle them back and forth too much, they will snap off with the CPU. But there were quite a few bent ones on this. So let's take, yeah, on the corners. And I don't think there's any official tool, but I have, this was a connector for a fan that I just put into a makeshift handle to be able to get pins and bend, like kind of grab the whole pin and just give it a little bending. Tweezers work much better, but some instances this works. Let's move the mat. Can we see this? Let's find some bent pins. And we'll get rid of a little less of it. Oh yeah, okay, those are bent. We're not going to get that tool on them right away, but we will. Let's try and pull it out just a bit. Should be able to grab that one. And I think we'll be able to grab this one. It's still kind of tight up against that. We'll try and get this on there. Not looking perfect and brand new, but let's look at the top down. Top down is not looking too bad. It should fall back in the socket. And there's some more. Who do we got here? Dreams. Dreams? Mr. Chris. How you guys doing this evening? We're looking at some bent pins right now, bending them back. Can we hook those with this? That's too far. Go back. Too far that way. No. Blurry vision, blurry vision. It's not too bad per alignment. It should resocket. I'm going to plug onto this one pin quick and straighten it back out. If I can. I don't know, the scope's a little low. You can use tweezers, anything you can really grab with, pry with. Nice flat straight edge. This is just something that seemed to fit the pins that I've used a few times. I'm going to say that's good. I'm trying to center it off that row at the top. That one's still leaning a little. I'll go ahead and push it over. I'm going to conclude that. Ooh, there we got one bent on the side as well. Let's take a look at all of this. You can see one or two right there. Get into a whole bendy game with this stuff, man. I think it's going to plug into the socket fine now. All right. What did we save? Let's take a look at what we saved here. What is this? Ryzen 5 5600X. So well worth saving, I believe. But yeah, this guy bought this. Not new, but obviously bought it with bent pins, like thinking, oh, one or two, and it was a bunch on the corners, and that oddball one that was on the edge, I didn't even see that at first. I think how they bent it too was putting it in the wrong clamshell, is my suspicion, or the wrong way in a clamshell. To take and bend the corners down like that, you would almost have to. Like force it into something the wrong way. I don't know. Either way, we're going to see how it fits back in its own clamshell and get it off the bench and move on to something that isn't straightening pins. So let's see. Just putting it in there and closing it shut bends anything on the corners. Shouldn't, unless this is not the right clamshell for it. So it is setting in there. Closed shut. Alright, let's check it. Or just, I don't know, I guess you could grab it wrong if you weren't familiar with it and bend the pins that way. Alright, closing it in the clamshell, let the corners, from what I can tell, survive. Yes, no, yeah. Alright, there we go. Corner survived. We'll go ahead and package it back in here. Pack it up and get it off the bench. We got Chris, Michael, Dreams. What's going on tonight, gentlemen? Anything? Anything good? Any news? Let me text this guy to let him know it's done. Where are we at? What is his name? It was what? Oh, he's in here. He don't have a last name. Where is he? Where is he? That's his name. All right, texted. Let's move on. And just again, do I have one here? Do we have something kind of local? Yeah, here we go. Perfect example. No, not what I was thinking. This one. So here you can see standard laptop cooling fan. Just use that connector. It has little holes in the end. It's actually a screwdriver handle and then Instamorph to extend the handle, make it longer. But I left wires on, actually attached wires to make it give something for the Instamorph to bind to hold that in. Handmade tool for a stupid purpose for straightening pins. Is it gonna peel? It is. We will soak that and get that label off there later. That's good enough for now. The bulk's off. Let's take a look at this USB-C port first. Where are we at? We gotta swing this way wild off the bench. Got some junk in there. This was brought in by the customer, not charging. So we're gonna see what's what. That's the back side. Let's look at the other side of this thing. You can definitely see some crap in it. Just looks like fuzz though. And let's get this out of the way for now. So what the story is with it plugged in. Do I have a C cable handy? It's not a C. That'll work. So I guess when it's plugged in charging to a cable, the kids kids, I can't remember if it was one or multiple, were putting pressure on it. Like when they're like laying on the floor. Bent the port, so we got to see what's going on with it. Let's see how it behaves first of all. Let me turn this light out so we can see this. Maybe we can see it. Can we see that screen flashing on the, what's that, voltmeter? Da-da-da, whatever the hell they're called. Let's flip it over. Check the other side. Same behavior. So it's not even attempting. There we go. We had an attempt. Is that going to be a broken port? Give me one moment. We got somebody walking in. But if it wants to go in or whatever, and it's just like just try like tilting it a little when you're trying to put it into the socket. If it has like a resistance, like try just tilting it around. If it doesn't, bring the board back and I'll straighten them out so it will socket right in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I might bring that other board in too with the PCI slot.
Oh yeah, if you want me to take a look at that, I can.
Okay.
All right, you said it's actually coming, the PCI Express slot's coming off the board?
Feels like it.
Like the top one?
Yes.
All right, yeah, I'll take.
PCIe. The other one's the PCI.
Or yeah, PCIe. Yeah, so bring it in. We'll take a look at it, see if we can't get it sorted out.
Right,
That would suck to lose a whole board.
Yeah, I'll probably be tearing into that computer here in the next couple days, and I'll bring it in once I get it apart.
All right, man. Cool.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, back to this switch here. What are we saying is causing something like that? Did we get other people in here? No, I don't see anything in chat. It seems like you put a little pressure on it, that it wants to let this thing start up, because here's the normal process of what I would normally see when we plug this thing in. We actually get power, start it up. And I can actually simulate it just by it being plugged into an adapter. But when we plug it into a functioning device, we should get it firing up. And we get nothing. So hopefully it's just a broken port and not a waterlogged device. Alright, let's see what we can break. Mr. Chris, you gotta be getting tired, my friend. It's late. Are you in the bed? Are you on the big screen watching this? Like laying down in bed watching this on a big screen, or are you on a phone? We really got a dead Y screw. No. We got a broken brain, that's all. Everybody, what is your verdict? Waterlogged, or actually real deal broken port? Which one's this one gonna be? That's not a cheap card. Is that 128 gig? Yes. What do we have here that we can use? Nothing? That's just not fun. Let's grab one that we can. I need to know where all my tools are. Let's see how bad I killed this. I was turning some big screws out the other day. All right. Does anybody see that? Look at the size. We got some hairs in this thing collected, man. It's like big, shaggy dog or some type of long-haired cat dog. Wow. All right. There's even some stuck in the CPU fan. All right, we'll clean that when we get to it. Before. After. There we go. Alright, let's find out what the verdict is on this. Waterlogged or actually just broken. And then we gotta fix it. That's the other thing. Big screen, not tonight. Yeah. Getting used to a new schedule is rough, man. I don't like it myself. Even small adjustments to a schedule that you've been doing long enough can throw havoc into it. I'm realizing that. And I'm a few months into the changes that have been made to my schedule after like 8 years. And they're just minor changes. And one more. Right, place your bets last minute. Waterlogged, broken port, something else. I'm hoping for broken port, but we'll go down the road of, oh yeah, so before we start tearing anything too far apart, so it's charging. So what? Hopefully we can just send it back out and say you're quit. He said he tried other cords. Okay, so it charges one way. So is a one-way charger going to be, it's not going to be, could be a port, right? What's it more likely going to be though? Yeah, I thought it showed earlier, but I thought maybe I was imagining it because he said he can't get it to charge. He's tried multiple cords. So it definitely charges. Wonder if he just has faulty hardware. Shouldn't it charge both ways though? Or am I wrong? I'm gonna put a screw back in this shield so it doesn't fall off quite yet. Should it not charge when you plug in both ways with a cord though? What? No, I don't even have my switch here to test it. So not charging. And there's no way other than to tear that down and flip that thing to see if it will not dock that way. Alright, let's be patient with this. Mark this while we're here. Give me a marker. So we have an X and an O side. Don't know what's what yet. Let's find out. And there we go. 14.8.216. So there could be no problem. Depends on the cord. How about Nintendo's cord? Anybody know what the standard switch dock cord does? Because I've never actually checked to see if it charges, like if they charge both ways on a switch that's not broken. I'm going to tell the guy to bring his cords in before we go any further with this. Okay, so it's not charging one way. And it's charging that way. And that is the one that actually comes with the Nintendo Switch dock. Like, or not with the dock, but when you get a Switch, this is what you get. At least to the best of my knowledge. That's what I got when I bought it. He said he tried a couple cords and he could not get it charged at all. I'm going to contact him quick and see if he can drop those off. Oh, what was that guy's? It wasn't a name, it was a number. But should the Nintendo cord not charge both ways? Could be any of them 92P13 or and port. Yeah, proper charger works both ways. That's okay. That's good to know. I've never officially tried it. And we can see the proper one does not work both ways. So I guess we're going to tear it apart, change a port, and see if that changes anything. First we got to look under the shiny silver hood and see what that is. What are these people? What is his... Was it that guy? No. This guy. Right. Reports were that they play with it, putting force onto it with it plugged into the floor. It's funny that it charges one way and not the other, but we'll change a port and see if that changes the behavior. The cord I have, I know this works both ways when I charge with it, and the Nintendo one works both ways on other devices. But that's device dependent. I don't know, or if it's cord dependent or device dependent. However you want to say that. All right, and I just reconfirmed again. Yep. Okay. All right, that's what I said. His cables, I just checked. His cables work. Yeah, his cables are working with other devices, not the switch. So let's proceed. Let's make a real mess out of it. It ain't completely broke yet. We'll finish the job. No, we're at 92%. I don't need to charge that. We're gonna have a little bit of a seat today. I'm working on this thing. All right, let's find out. Check to see if the port has been changed. Maybe it could not be soldered on some pins. We gotta go back to the phone. I'm not gonna ask him. I'm gonna keep bothering that guy. But I could ask if he has had any work done to it before or bought it used. All right, going under the hood. So we have not triggered the water detection sticker there, moisture detection. So let's do that pronto. Get the bucket of water, somebody. Give it a quick dunk. Make sure that we're doing this right. Yeah, we better back out a little. If I go too close on this thing, I'll move it off screen. Fairy liquid makes them squeaky clean. Yeah, no doubt. Proper charger. Love that word. Proper charger. No. Do I really want to disassemble this thing? Fuck no. Alright, let's go. Quit crying about it and just get to work. Does anybody else, I've always wondered this, and I don't manage to do it because I'll eventually get to the point where I'm just pulling stuff and putting it back on. But I usually try to put the same screws back in the same spot. At least most, not most, part of the time. But that's not usually a very successful mission, so. Let Cheapo warm up for a minute while we're here. Yeah, it seems to be the right temp. Let's try it. Alright, we have some furry friends that we have to rezone, get them out of there, give them a new home up here. Actually quite a bunch. It is super dusty inside this thing. I think we're done with you for now. Get out of here. Symptoms on this one is it was brought in saying he couldn't get it to charge at all. The customer said he couldn't get it to charge at all. The kids had a habit of playing it plugged in, and they would like put force on it, basically force forward while laying on the floor. When I plug it in, it charges one way but not the other. So we're looking on that. And as far as the console is concerned, there is no moisture detected in that little square area right there. Doesn't speak for the rest of it, but at least right there was no liquid. I took one of these out already. What the hell did I do with it? Yeah, we'll find it later. If not, I've got spare. Right there. Put you in the pot. Let's grab one since we don't. I did this, vanish that while sitting down in one place. We'll find it when we rebuild it. For now, we'll grab one. from here. It's not going to be any fun. Port here, other things can cause it, but use case is screaming structural issues. Yeah, the guy said his cords charge other stuff just fine, but it won't charge this at all, which leads me to believe, like, what backwards cable are they using that won't charge it either side? But I have cables here. I think pretty much everything that we plugged into it charged it one way, but not the other. Yes, Micro. Good evening. Good evening. It's late. And who else? Oh, that was you that asked that. Good evening. It's very late. If it's getting late for me, it's very late for you gentlemen. So. One left, and that should be it. All right, perfect. Let's go. All right, that's up. Just checking everything so I just don't go trying to tear this out without pulling everything. And I believe, did we free it? Is it free? All right, it is. Nope, we gotta go back to standing. I don't have a scope on an arm. Problems with this. I gotta fix it somehow. Nah. Sitting down, I don't know, sitting down and working is just weird. When you've got years of doing it the other way around, I don't know. Alright, where are we there? Alright, we can get to USB-C port. Yeah, we still got furry friends popping up here and there. Does not look bad. Too bad we can't see that other row of pins. They're just right there, but you can't see them. What a shame.
Hello, Moto.
I agree. Scam likely. Alright, just gonna look it over quick, check out everything on the board, look for any signs of anything. I'm not really seeing anything other than the crazy amount of fuzz that has made it inside this thing. We even still got the little rubber cap thing, although it's not stuck to BQ, it is stuck inside our shield. Right there, it's got a crazy amount of dust around it. And let's get out the juice meter and see what it says about some of this stuff. Yeah, no. Structural, I think it is this time. What board do we got here? CPU 01. Look at that dust, man. That is impressive. How do you get that much crap inside it? Like play by a sandbox or what? A little bit of room for a second here. I'm going to move this mat over just a little more. Just so we can try and stay away from the pile of screws that we have. I wish these mats had the assortment thing there, or the sorter thing there on the left hand side. But that's not the case. You know, crazy amount of dust. It doesn't look like anything's bad. I'm not a pro with these, but I've fixed a couple. Juice meter. See you, Mr. Chris. Go get some sleep. Be sure to catch up on us tomorrow. Have a good day at work, man. New jobs can be rough to get used to. Even if you're doing the same thing, I find your job can get you. Just the schedule, I think, is probably the harder part to get past. At least for me. That stand we use in my preheater, I kind of like it. I don't know. The stand, I had a job like before I was doing this myself. I worked at another place, and it was like a no, you got to sit down to work place, and I was just like constantly like trying to find a reason to take a nap because I was always just tired sitting there. I really didn't want to be sitting down working, but that was their way. All right. What are we going to look for here? We got to check what? Some filters, check around, check the main stuff around this, that. We have a fuse, that filter, although I don't think that'll do anything. I'm not super familiar with the diagnosis on these boards, but being most of them that I have fixed have been either ports or somebody else tried to change the port and the ripped pads off, so I had to replace pads and then put a port on. So let's not do that here today. That's not fun. It takes a long, long time. A lot longer than I want to put into this today. What do we look at? Filters. Yeah, I cannot see this stuff by eye, so we're going to go under scope. Are we still on the right camera? I get it in focus for the camera and not me. What are these ones? Diagonals? Caps around M92? Yeah. How do you check these filters? Are these ones diagonal or are they across from each other? Or is that not? Yeah. I'm not getting absolutely nothing doing it that way. Alright, let's give it. Go to the caps. M92. If we got a bad lead, I'm going to lose my mind. Alright, every time I touch my leads, they without a doubt beep. As far as I'm aware, everything is normal there. Did we check the... Or is it not? Yeah. Not diagonal. Up and down. So, what do we make of that? Everything seems normal to me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not super familiar with these. In diagnosing, I don't know what's going on there. I can't get anything. When you check with red on ground, it reads the same both ways, so I don't know what's going on with that one. And chip looks good. At least on the edges it does. No actual corrosion. And the filters are up and down, right? Shit on that. Check the test pads below the port. None but... Alright, let me get this straight here. I gotta read. Check the test pads below the port. None but the one off to the side of the port should have any pathway to ground. Test pads below the port. You're talking these and then the other ones? And the only ones that will ground will be the edges, right? That's what you were saying, I think. That, isn't that connected to that though? Let me read this. And the other side, gotcha. Fernando, hello. Good evening. How are you, my friend? Ooh. I think we're getting out of the neighborhood of where I need to be. So non-diagonal, which is correct. Up and down they should test, but not diagonal. Right, let's do that over just to be sure. That one near the coil shouldn't be shorted. So you're saying the one that I was testing short, touch ground, this right here shouldn't be shorted. So what is that pointing to? Because I'm not a test pads type person. What does that go to? Let me look it up. I'm going to pull up on my screen here quick so I have some reference. Switch. All right, let's see. They have photos, but the photos are nowhere near the info. Okay, so the photos they have here, I want the other side of the board. Okay, so let me see if I can pull, where can I pull this to have reference to it? So what, if I look at this photo, so depending what revision of board you have, let me look here. I'll get back to the chat 1 second. Depending what revision of board you have, some boards don't even have compromise. You got to remove it and test it. Could be it could be giving a bad reading. The picture I'm looking at online, all test pads are present. This one isn't even on the board. It's but that's going to be an earlier revision of a board because it's a completely different board regardless. My, look at that fun. Alright, let's heat it up and pull it, find out what's what. I don't think anything funny's around M92 or MT92 in my opinion. BQ looks good. That may not even really play a factor here. And flip shut so I don't rip you off of their thing. Let's go back to this. There's something up. Is flux just covering them? They should test. We're gonna have stabbing one of these off the board. Watch it. Are we in horrible focus here? We are. Apologies, people. think I left off there. We'll go back if we have to. Now, the way those are testing, just like the one on the front, everything is good with those filters. Hold on. Read the board. The test pad has a data line. Read the board. That test pad has a data line via. It can't be ground. It has a small trace. That's true too. So what problem? See, I don't want to pull a port, like, I think the port possibly got compromised a little bit, but here's what I'm saying in my head. What damage can be done when you're flexing a port? Obviously, you can break the port, but is that going to have an effect on the board somewhere else when you're doing that? Like, that's what I'm hoping to avoid, tearing a port off, and then we still have the same problem. We got to go further. Yeah. Oh, that's the boss. Hold on. Alright, unmuted finally. Sorry, the wife called. Pins can be... Alright, let's find out what I asked. Remove the port every console, to be honest, then test, then repair. Plastic separator can be damaged, causing one side pins to make contact with there. Yeah, that's port damage, but is any of that going to translate to damage on the board? Like, you break the plastic separator, pins are touching, it shouldn't be. Is that going to do damage to other components on the board? That's what I'm worried about. Because I'm not prepared to sit here and diagnose that out. But a port? Yeah, we'll change a port. Of course, there's some pros in the chat, so. Boy, we could really get something good going. What was that shit when 4chan trolled that one kid with GPU help and had him microwave it? You guys could get me going down the wrong road real quick here. Throw it in the microwave. 10 minutes. No less. It has to at least make 10 minutes. Alright, let me read this info that's still coming in. Max or B. Hold on. When near the coil shouldn't be shorted to ground. 2 ground test pads here, one next to the port, one next to the battery connector. None of the rest should have a path. Alright. There shouldn't be short of 2 ground test pads here, one next to the port, one next to the battery connector. Alright, let's work the way down through these instructions. Alright, this side. Okay, so there's one next, the 2 next. Alright, so we have 2 by the battery connector. I'm at that message. Let's diet or translate it. Where did it go? Shit. 2 ground test pads here. One next to the port, one next to the battery connector. None of the rest should have a pathway. So we said one next to the battery connector. Let's look at the board here. I got thermal finger beyond belief. So that test pad has data line, and then that goes to whatever pins those are in the battery. But we have 2 right by the battery connector. Bad reading, can't test with compromised port. No way to know. Alright. It's off. It is right. You can always throw it back on if you yeah, right? Yeah, flip your... Here, borrow my cable to charge your switch. Borrow my cable to charge it. That's the great answer. You can always throw it back on. How do you guys take these off? Is it you just use simple needle nose, or is it vice grips? Because I got both here. Like we'll really pull this thing off there in one go. And I got big vice grips. I got little ones. Got some real fine needle nose. Got the bigger, beefier ones if we really want to grip and lift it out of that solder. All right, let's turn the hot air on and pull this damn thing. Warm up, my friend, while I find a solution for pulling this thing off of there. Excuse me. All right. Man, that's gonna put some hot air down. Yeah, we're doing that. I'm just gonna elevate the board up off the mat and clamp it. Not really clamp it between something, but we're gonna place it between something. Let me look at what plastic do we have in the area. So speaker connector, and if we get too much air, what's under that metal shield? The RAM is in that spot, so we don't want to float that. So we really got to stick to the one side. Is that the biggest one I got? It is. Remount the anchors and let it drop. No need to pull anything. Yeah, no, I got this. This thing takes a sec to heat up. It's not a quality gun. I don't know if you can tell or not, judging by the handle. You got the little blower in the handle, and I'm generally seen putting tips on or pulling them off with pliers after I've already got it hot. So, got it ready. Get the equipment out. We're actually going to see what I can do with my iron quick to see if I can lift any of that off there without destroying anything. I didn't flip over, sorry guys. Let me get back on the scope. We're going to add, this is the, what do I want to call it, leaded, the best leaded that I have. It's a pretty high percentage. And I actually bought some other tips, but I don't think we're going to need to switch out to those today. Nah, it's going down through fairly easy. Let's try and lift some of that crap back out. See what we can take out and then hit it with the hot air. Alright, hold on. Lower the ankle. Lower the anchor temps. Won't float anything critical. Man, I'm not translating that too well. I've read it a couple times. I'm just not getting it. Lower the anchor temps. Lower the temps. Won't float anything. Yeah, I'm a little lower, but let's pull some of this back up off, see what we can. Look at that awesome hair. I'm gonna go with my don't need to do it, but I'm doing it. I'm gonna use some of that stuff to help it suck into the wick, hopefully. What messages are coming in? Who is this? Could you forward any text or calls ago? I probably don't have. Yes, I can forward any texts or calls from your phone that come in. Customer, sure. Can we see that? We can see that. We agree. Yeah, so we didn't remove a whole lot, but we got some out. That's fine. I can live with that. It's less crap we gotta heat up. That equals good in my book in the long run, so. Ah, okay, yeah. I follow you now. I had one of those hot air stations a couple years ago. Now I have a Quick. Yeah, I hear they're incredible. I've had, oh, from 2015 to now, I've had two of those. The one lit itself on fire. This one's actually been a pretty good performer for putting heat out and not lighting itself on fire. So, not today, please. Oh. Yeah, we actually pulled quite a bit out of that one. That's good. That's almost clean. Look at that. Look at that. It's not almost clean, but that qualifies as way less intimidating than some of the other ones. Actually, I don't think we'll get any more of them cleaned up, but we'll give it a shot. That one's actually good. The two scary ones, and I don't think we need to add any more and pull it out. But the two scary ones, this one definitely. I don't like how full it is with solder, but we'll possibly get it out of there. Oh, we're melting plastic there, so we got to give them a new port, bare minimum anyhow. Yeah, it's not going to pull any more out of it. We got what we could get. And we got what we can get there. All right, let's hit it with some hot air, let it drop off, and see what the verdict is. Are you gonna fall right there, buddy? You probably won't. We'll move you out a little. Gonna see how long these insanely bad irons take to pop one of these off of there. Actually, let me get it on screen. I forgot we moved the mat. I'm gonna keep most of my heat pointed away from the ram, so smart thing would probably be to take the tip off, but we're gonna keep it on there and try and keep the air moving on the port. Let's try and speed this up a little. They're what? Yeah, they're shit, man. But they get the job, they can get the job done. You gotta be patient with them. I'm gonna try and put more hot air on it all at once instead of having to move any. But this is danger zone, so let's see, man. I've never done the drop-off method with one of these. I usually give a little, like, heat it till I can see it in the scope melt, but we'll try it. We'll try this drop-off you speak of. we may not be dropping it off there with this one. We may have to mount it and lift. I don't know, it doesn't seem, let me look. Yeah, that thing hasn't budged for sake of not wanting to ruin something that isn't ruined. If we can still touch the board, we haven't actually hit any, I mean there's heat in it, but it's not like cooking here yet. Let me put this down before I blow hot air in my face. Instead of out it in it, that would be bad. The board's warm, but I'm really worried about getting too much heat in this area. So we're gonna go to I'm gonna try and cook it. I don't know. Experts tell me which way is safer blowing heat on, the top, the side that the what is it? What's in that area? Ram? The side that the ram's in, or covered by a shield, or blowing directly on the opposite side, which is going to transfer heat through to it. People with much experience doing it the drop-off way. Yeah, because neither of these, they're away from it. You're right, these guns, their hot air stations are awful, but you can make them work. We did budget a little, but not enough. I'm going to add some more solder to the top two. Those are the ones that don't really want to move. I fear they may be keeping it in place, so let me add some to those real quick. And I'm not going to take it back off. I'm going to let the blob there so it heats up. The hottest part about this whole ordeal is my mat right now. I can't even touch it where I was blowing that hot air. But our port's definitely starting to go, so we got to replace that. If I can't get it to drop, I'm going to flip it and have to do the only way that I've ever been able to pull them off that I know of. At least with that hot air station. Where are we at? Personally, that doesn't even look like it budged. That one. There is that. Those are basically cleaned out. Other components, you know, the split second your port is melted and you remove heat before anything else floats. Port needs to be hot enough behind the port to unsolder the pins. Right. Putting solder on, not removing components. Flux is for putting solder on, not removing. Yeah. No, I get that. But it does help it flow into solder wick super quick. I mean, mainly the flux is blown in, but a little more heat. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing to drop off. We'll try that one more time and see. Those aren't ridiculously bent. I'll give it one more go that way, and if not, I got to go with what I've actually done successfully a couple times. think we need that off there, because that stuff with the hot air, that gets ridiculously liquidy, so that's not going to be trapping it. The pins, I was looking at the port too, the pins aren't bent in or out extremely to the sides, so it should just flop off, but it hasn't. So we'll give her one more go, one good attempt, and see what happens. That's the input coming in. Here shows the method in every switch bit. Alright. The board needs to be hot enough behind the port to unsolder the pins. Behind the port. Yeah. There's a floating on the components. You know, the split second your port is melted, you remove the hot, remove the heat before anything else floats. I was working on getting, just getting everything to melt. We'll give her a go. One more. Then we start. I think I don't know if I want unfocused air or like a nozzle on or no nozzle for this though, because I don't want too much hot air flowing toward that thing. Like that's just nightmare city. But the biggest one that I have doesn't, it like, well, let me grab it without my hand and I'll show you. I think this would be the biggest that I have here. Biggest that I got here. And it's cold. That is barely enough to cover the port, and that's we'd have to keep moving it for sure. That's why I was trying to go with unrestricted air, like not nozzle down. Let's give it one more shot. All right. Also, being able to see the solder melt is also kind of, how do I want to say it, key. Really struggling with that without, like, direct, how do I want to say it, without directly looking at it under scope. So, new to me, hope it works. So, our port is not moving. Have you done it with one of these stations though? One of the crap stations? Like, I gotta watch it when it melts, man. I put hot air on it, and that's to a scary amount. That heat is starting to come through the board. Yes. Solder melts, it'll fall off. What do we do when something else starts burning the hell out of itself and the solder still hasn't melted? Because here's, let's test. Let's test. So grant, that is leaded. I get that. A few seconds. And that stuff melts. We just reduced how much of that's sticking out. I'd say we was on that port for way longer than that with this. Nothing melted, nothing moved. We're gonna do it the way I think I can. Yeah, be very afraid. You have to be patient with them. The drop, I honestly don't think the drop-off's gonna work. I think the pins might be sprung one way or the other, holding that front end, so it's not gonna let gravity take its course. So I'm gonna give it a little nudge. I'm cooling him down now anyhow. Alright, let's look at it. Let's see what we broke. Because that's an unreal amount of heat to take and go into something. I mean, like an ungodly amount of heat to go in. Uncomfortable amount, whatever. Whatever term applies for you. Let's see. Wait, your hot air station didn't reach 220? Is what you're saying? Or that didn't? No, that was much hotter than... Now we definitely have to fix. Well, let's get it off there however we can. If it did, your port would have... Oh, yeah. No, well... It melts solder. What else do we need to do to show that it heats up? I'm telling you. That's the... Maybe it's starting to die. No, I would guess no. So... I'm looking up the melting point. One lead based. Do I have a PCB handy? Anything other? Hello? No. For consoles? No, they don't cut it for consoles. Yeah, that's not going to happen. The only thing I've done hot air on like possibly a chip, but no, they're shit. Mainly motherboards, components, like little components is what I've done with that. A few ports, but only hot air enough to pull a port, and doing the work to repair traces on my switch, there was a few. However, we got to get that off of there. Let me grab something out of here. That won't do the job. Let me find one that will. Alright, let's see what we can do. Let's just run a test quick and find out. We'll set that off to the side. Where are we at? We're on that one. Good. Alright, so we have leaded solder on this roll, lead free here. And a completely smoked motherboard. Fairly big blob. I'm going to let it cool off a little bit and see if that gun will melt it. I locked the camera focus. Fuck. Stupid. Grab it, grab it, grab it. Lead free. Cheap, who knows what, never heard of the name, but lead free. Let's see if we can actually melt it. Looking to second hand. BST 863 is the best air station I've used, period. The best is what you're saying there, yeah. I've used this in my other cheap one. My other cheap one lit itself on fire. I wasn't happy about that. But this one seemed to be working, but again, I don't get to do this crap all the time. Only when jobs come in, and some stuff I definitely have to turn down. Like, I can remove ground leg solder with the iron, but past that, there's some stuff you can't do. Alright. Completely cooled down. Let's see if we can melt it. We're on a laptop motherboard too, so if we can melt lead free, we should be able to melt leaded, right? Let's see on something. Are we getting hot enough? Seems in a few seconds we are. It's definitely molten. It doesn't have anywhere it wants to go. It's not like molten, but it is molten. And that was a few seconds it went to molten. So, ideas, people, as to why that port's not dropping off there, other than shit hot air station. Yeah, no, I know. Well, oh, I know. We're gonna. Let me get there. Max temp and airflow? No, we're not max temp. Not at max temp. No. Max airflow? Yes. To throw the air in there. Let me lift the gun back off here. So we are. Let me check this. So we started at 420, which is fairly hot, and I raised it a few degrees past that. It's still warm. 100 messages a day with Restream. Raise it to max temp, 480. Alright, let's go. 500 is actually what this station maxes out at. You say 480? Let's do it. I think we're just starting to do damage. I'm going to be replacing something, because it definitely melts the lead free. I know it's not a heat sink. It's just getting ready to solder a penny to that blob and then remove it with the hot air. 420, zero chance? Alright. Don't be afraid of heat. Lower heat, lower the chance of problems. Is that not true? Alright, we're at 480. Going off advice. Let's try and drop it off of there. I'm also going to attempt to. Fuck, is that hot? Put a little pressure on that front port. Let me put the leaded back on so it has something to melt. Hopefully it flows through to the rest. We'll do that real quick before we do anything. We'll add it back. Because we're at the point we're starting to cook stuff. And that's not good, man. Leaded. Definitely leaded. And then actually I'm going to try and just give a little pressure down on that front. And we're going to pull all that burn ass flux off there. Anything else we need to do? Should we really screw ourselves and put a blob across the back side of that port? Let's go. Give a little pressure, try and drop it. New method. I'm not so comfortable with it, but you guys say don't be afraid of heat. So since we're melting the stuff earlier, within a few seconds, let's try and cook it off of there without me being able to see it. Fucking terrifying. Want them all to wet at the same time, yeah. You get the boss by decent. There's the I am the boss. I am the boss. The guy that, my friend that I used to work for retired. He's not doing this anymore. So it's me or nobody. So yeah, no, I'm gonna upgrade other stuff. Want them all to wet at the same time. Fucking nightmare. Alright, we ready? Hot air. We're gonna go for a few seconds, find out what happens. Let me tell you, solder's definitely molten all four. The front, like I moved the front, the back is not moving. Next plan. Oh no. I was heating the board. I was heating. Wow, yeah. That shows you how hot it was. I can't even touch it. I was heating from about here down. So right above, like the first rail filters down, it didn't budge on them pins, man. So let's try and do something else here. It definitely gets hot enough to melt it. It goes molten, but it's, like you said, a heat sink, so it might be pulling that last little bit of heat in. However, I think I'm still at the danger level with that heat. Yeah, the back definitely melted, man. Like, we're just utterly destroying this thing, and that I can't do. Once the wet, concentrate on the pins. Lockdown is averaging 15 a week. Yeah, it's good for you. Heat the board, not support. Lots of ways, but you have two techs here who have done hundreds of them in the chat. Doesn't hurt to try. Alright, hold up. Them all what at the same time. I'm trying to see what. There's lots of ways, but you have two techs here who have done hundreds of them in the chat. Doesn't hurt to try. No. I don't know. People seem very confident that we haven't floated anything critical at this point. I'm not a pro. we can see, yeah, the flux melted. That shit there didn't melt. Man, I'm not liking it. Look at the state of some of this stuff. So, oops. I don't know, man. Drop method isn't working for me. We definitely, I'm going to say not one row of pins is completely disconnected. However, they could be partially. Like all that there. Oh, you can't see. I apologize. Let's get back to it. All this crap there. Looks like none of that's even budged, hitting it from the other side. Yeah, that's true. However, we're going to see if unconventional can let me remove it. The port's already beyond, true, as you said, a broken port. But I just, that letting it fall off there, man, and just cooking the other, I understand people do it every day. Not this guy. Alright, let's throw some flux on there and remove that. We're going to spread that stuff out a little there. That's what I want. Let's see if we can't get this off a different way. Drop method sounds good with a proper hot air station. Get this stuff to spread out. Then we're going to pull it. Yeah, I guess I could start to doubt if I got that on screen. Let's go for it. Yeah, drop didn't work for this guy today. Perhaps another day with better tools. I'm going to clean this up and take a break, because doing something that you're not comfortable with, man, can work on the nerves. So I'm just going to take a small break here in a moment. 15. Yeah, thumbs up to that too, man. So what's like, obviously you're not putting heat directly through a little thin, cheap shield. And right close to that ram, but you are doing the drop method, it seems like, I don't know. It seems like you're not, how do I want to say it? You're putting heat on the other side of the board where the bottom side of that ram is. We might have to get the micro pencil out for that to fit in there. Well, we can get in there. Now we just got to move that blob. But what's the advantage to doing the drop versus like lifting it off when you get it nice and hot? I don't know. I feel like if you can see it, and I don't even know if I don't even know, but like I'm trying to understand it. But when you can see everything molten under a scope, and it sucks working under a scope for the most part. But you can see the stuff molten. You wait, 10 seconds or so more, and then lift. What's the advantage of doing the drop versus that, other than it sounds like way easier to me if it works? We took it on. We're going to attempt to remove as much solder as possible, then hit it with some heat, and hopefully it drops off. Not much, just that little bit. But not the invisible. Yeah, well, here, look at the port. Let me see if we can make sense out of this. So, I'm not saying the invisible are the ones under the port are lifted or anything. Can't say anything about it yet, being they're probably still fairly close or got solder bridges connecting them to it. But like we're not even connected there. So the front two are out good. The back two, I'm going to remove that solder and then try and just hit the USB-C pins to see if that'll fall off. Hopefully it will. Yeah, the inner pins. Yeah, I know. And when everything was molten for a good few seconds, that's when I touched the port to get it to move a little. So let me try and go in here and pull some of that off. Let me cut this off. I don't want to get the micro pencil out, but if I have to, if I can't get in there with the wick, we will. Yeah, I know, flux isn't for removing solder. It's for putting stuff on, but it sure makes for a smelly mess. Oh, we screwed up. We gotta touch it again now. We really screwed up there. Shit. You got it. So we got what? What is that? 24? 1, 2, 3. 24, 25, 26 pins in our way right now. Yeah, don't need those out. Making a mess out of it. Spin around, spin around. We put, no, we have the nozzle on. That's fine. Or off. We're going to put it back on. And here's why I believe we were getting plenty hot enough. It just didn't want to drop for whatever reason. Because we were cooking, man. There's no doubt. We were 100% cooking. I'm not liking it, but let's add some heat, see what we can do, see if it's going to drop off there. I doubt it is. Where do we pick up? Who thinks it's going to drop off there this time? Because I still don't. I still don't believe it's going to go. Any opinions? Anybody? Think it's going to work? Let me put that back before I accidentally grab that roll of solder. That would be that would be a nightmare. We did lower the melting temp of everything. Visible, the invisible, we didn't get to touch. Who knows what their status is. The only place we really need hot air is in this spot, side to sides there, for that to melt, and those other pins to melt. I don't want to hit that side with any more heat. Oh, I was gonna say that's it. Maybe I didn't have it on the screen. No. Let's go. Still don't think it's gonna fall, but we'll give it one last shot at this point. If it comes off, we get to resume testing and see what's what. Put a port on. And I hope it's just a bad port. Alright, quick break before I do anything. That's working on the nerves. Whoever may be paying attention or still watching. We're just letting our computers run idly. I'll talk to the computers. We're gonna smoke and a drink and then continue on this mission of pulling that thing with cheapo and at least a decent iron, but well, as decent an iron as I have for me. Yeah, man. I don't know. Let me scoot over here so I can actually read for a moment. Nah, it can handle it. Switch is way more robust than I'm thinking. That instills a little bit of confidence. Should be 480. Don't be afraid of heat. 420, 0 chance. Nah, it can handle it. Switch is way more robust than you're thinking. Excuse me. You can melt unleaded solder with a match. You won't remove a port. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. With just Jones when it comes to heat, work hot, not fast. Agree, just let it drop. If you ate it, it will pull pads. No, leave the pins. I'd advise you get the boss. Want them all wet at the same time. There is no right and wrong way to remove a connector. Each one uses the tools in the best possible way. Plenty of methods that don't work. Plenty of methods that don't work well. Direct heat at the back of the port and not front. Yes, we had plenty of heat at the back of it, man. It was cooking the plastic there. And 2 dicks here, hundreds of them in the chat. Doesn't hurt to try. No, I 100% agree. Heat the board, not just the port. Once they wet, concentrate on the pins. If you're uncomfortable, I'd step back. You've not done any damage to anything but an already broken port. Thumbs up to that. Yeah, I'm gonna give it one go. If I can't, then we'll at this point, I'm pretty far in. You have also now lowered the mounting temp on all the visible pins, but not the invisible. Correct. We're going to let a lot of heat hit it. The invisible pins, the ones that are under, the ones that haven't had low melt solder on it. I agree with that. You're going to melt the plastic during removal. Don't sweat it. Move the nozzle when putting a new one on. Yeah, no, I don't think the few switch ports that I've taken off with lifting. Granted, I did pull the elongate the what is it? I don't know if it's ground or it's something else, but it's the one. I did pull a pad on the one. I replaced that. It's the pad that does the one that's on there. Is it like that? Or no, it's like this or whatever. It does that goofy shape. It reaches from the hidden pins to the other one. I lifted that pad on the one, and then the one somebody had already tried removing it, brought it in, and when I lifted it, there was damage on the ground legs. They were using one of those small hobby store irons. Just, I don't know. But even the plastic on those, it melts regardless. I just think we had enough hot air in there after that thing to drop, and it did not drop. But we're going to focus on the pins that are hidden, and the back pins. They're quite a ways up there. They're almost not directly under, but they're real close to the opposite side of that first row of filters. So let's give it a shot. Like I said, doing something the way you haven't done it is super uncomfortable. But I'm gonna listen. I'll try it. Oh, let me finish this break first. Thanks for the advice in the chat too. Scary as it may be. And if not, we're gonna go to lifting, and we'll go from there. See what I break doing it that way. I wanted to just fall off of there, like a half hour, an hour ago. I wanted it to fall off of there. Oh, I do have a drink over here. The hot swap, man, that where people heat it up, lift it, drop it, grab the new port, get the heat on it again. And that's next level. The hot swap is bananas, man. That's we're not doing that here today. All right, coming up, hot swap. I'm even going to keep the new port in dual bagged in the little plastic it's inside a plastic bag. Not happening. Joking. Sorry, joking only. And the rule with flexible, but who said what? It's not for taking stuff off, it's for putting it on. It helps get it nice clean joints and helps stick components down so they don't blow away when you're putting it on. But what I've heard anyways, when I find the rare person that's into this shit that I can talk to, is that it helps solder flow. It'll clean, but it also helps solder flow. So you would think that would aid in helping put it on. Or helping put it on. But can it also aid in helping shit come off, helping parts come off and whatnot, components, if it helps the solder flow? I do not know. I'm not the guy to ask. Fucking hot swap guys. Next level. Alright. Do or die. Feel like I need a bathroom break, but I'll wait on that. I want that shit to get good and hot and fall this time, right? Right. I'm with it. Shit. Alright. Using a nozzle on this one, just because that unnozzled heat, I don't like the concept of it. Alright, we're gonna let this heat up. Yell real loud if it catches fire, guys. Caffeine all day. Just can't get comfortable on ports. Yeah, I agree. Alright, we're pretty hot. Let's see what's going to drop off here finally. That would be amazing. Not holding my breath. We are not on the port. We're back on where the pins are. Got the outer pins melted. It's starting to move. Let's hope it moves and doesn't cook anything else. I think it's... I think the plastic was stuck to the board a little. On that one. Yeah, a little bit of black on the edge. That's okay. Alright guys, gals, YouTubers, interneters, whoever you are. Slightly used, almost brand new Nintendo Switch port. 3 easy payments at $99.99. I don't care, I'll take whatever currency you got. It can be yours for sale. It'll be on eBay later. No, not winter. It was absolutely terrifying the whole time. I was gonna close the shop and move all my shit out tonight. I'm just getting this out for right now. We're not gonna even do it. We're gonna grab the juice meter and test, but I'm getting it out. It's there, it's ready. If we gotta go that route. Let's see what damage we did or didn't do. Giving it that little nudge. That little shove down to get those two front pins that they weren't nice and centered. There was one was actually sprung out and one was sprung in. So you have the port and the pins, and then you have the ground legs. Instead of being down or sprung out or sprung in, one was off that to the outside edge and the other one was to the inside edge. So it could have been helping hold it. Who knows? Let's see what damage we did or didn't do here. I'm going to take and clean that all up. I don't think we're missing any pads. I haven't looked yet, but you get to see with me. All pads look intact. Albeit not a very good looking board. Well, it's still warm. Let's try and clean some of that shit off of there. Black plastic with it. There is one of our sticking points. That shit. And was I right along the edge? Was there any black plastic? Much. Clean this up for a quick second. I'll do some testing. See if anything's changed. Who was it? Micro Lee said that this, I believe, if I interpreted message correct, that should not, when touching ground, that should not be going to ground because of that little via data line there. Most of this may not come off. I think that's coating. Yeah. That will clean up. Important part. All that will clean up. It'd be nice to clean that out before we attempt to put a new port back in there. That might not be coding. That might be just burn-ass flux. Who knows? Some of it is moving, so I'll say it is for now. We'll come back to it. Let's get the juice meter on it quick. May have to stop in the middle of this, and we resume school from our holiday break that we had tomorrow, so it's going to be bedtime for the kids. Thanks for the terrifying advice, people. That, like, I got to be about 70 now. I started out 22. Oh, fuck. All right. Juice meter. Touch some ground, and let's see. So hopefully this doesn't beep, but it probably will, which is going to point to another problem. Yep. And there we go. What problem is that? Keep looking around, keep poking at it. So we have test pads. Let me pull them up. I did have them up. Yeah, that pad definitely beeps, man. That's not going anywhere. Point side. That's the alternate. Okay. What a mess. What a mess. That's with a breakout board. I don't have one of those. 3, 6, 7, 5, 1, 2. What are you doing there? 1, 2? That? Oh, no. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, it's definitely beeping. You say it shouldn't be ground, but here, we'll put it all on the scope so we can see, and we're in continuity diode, whatever you want to call it. So even putting a port back, putting a port back on here is not going to fix that, because that shouldn't be that way. What does that lead to, though? So this is going to be a research matter. Let me look at this quick, see if I can make sense out of it. Okay. 2, 6, 3 to 7, 4, 3. That goes. Yeah, we got to start testing different sides. And then there. Goes to the bottom side of that. Shorts around BQ to the right? Certainly. I'm missing a couple messages. Or no, just that one. Shorts around BQ. Okay, so here's it. Hopefully that's still on screen. Yeah, you can see me holding that there. that little guy down there. Let's take a look at him. So we're not getting anything to this one, unless I'm just not poking through the flux. We're definitely making contact there. Let's try this side. He wants to, so I guess let's try it again. There it goes. Okay. Is this a fuse? What the hell is that thing? Thermistor? Yeah, no shorts. Just a coil inductor. Resistor. Seems fine. All this stage I would swap M92T36, which can appear fine on test, but actually be bad. Okay, so swap that, and then what? Here's the thing though. Like I'm really gonna have to look it up because I don't have the slightest clue. This pad, this test point, what is that in relation to? Because if I'm looking, I gotta find somebody that actually has that test point laid out. Because let me look in the box. Let me check the box. What is that? There we go. So let's look at a couple other boards here quick. Same thing. What do we got going on there? What are we looking at? So it does have that. It's clearly laid out on that board. This is a CPU 10. That is a CPU 01. Let's look at, what do we have here? This is a CPU 21, so completely different layout and no test point there. This is the board that I was looking at, this board for my reference. So it's laid out quite a bit different. I mean, not quite a bit, but somewhat. But yeah, we're missing that test point. It's like not there. What is it related to there? Like what? So I have some homework to do. The big one? Test that coil and see if it's shorted. The giant thing right beside BQ. This here? Certainly. It's not going to do anything, is it? Not getting any readout for continuity on it. Oh, there. Hold on. Just got it. Sorry. Where was it? So no. Yeah, no, definitely not shorted. It's only popping up on one side. You guys are advising me on this nuisance right there. Boy, we're gonna have to figure out, I don't know. The only one I might have would be, I believe I put it on a board, it didn't make any changes, and I pulled it back off. Let me see if if this is it, or if I have to go digging for it. Yes, kind of it. It was on the floor. I don't know if I want to trust it though, because it was on the floor and I might have stepped on it. Who knows what that did to it. We got some stuff stuck in the chip. That could not be good. So I might have to order some of these in. I might have another one. I'll have to look. Another new one. This was new. Never, well, I mean used, but not like used. Like I put it on, no changes to the state of that switch, so I pulled it back off. I don't know if that was the stepped on one or if that's just grit, because I do have one that got a crack in it from it got knocked off, but that was from a donor, not a new. If I remember right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know here at this point. You guys are saying change that. They can be bad even if they're not showing it. They can be bad. What is this? This is a charging chip, right? This is the PQ is like, yeah, charging. This would handle charging also, would it not? Man, we're going in real deep water here. A little bit of flux. Oh well, while I have a few minutes, we're gonna take and clean this up. I think we're gonna make a bigger mess than anything. PW mic. BQ is charge chip. I'm not. Is PW mic. Fuck is that? Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna not answer that right now, man. Got a stupid animal hair there. almost. Just didn't quite reach that. So you're saying M92. Change that. That's not doing nothing. That flux was too melted to even try and grab that out of there. Or solder wasn't melted enough. What I meant. Not liking the looks of it, man. We have to reach in there with hot air and get that stuff. Yeah, we're going to reach in with hot air and get that out. Possibly hot air and solder wick, a little bit of it. I just don't think we can try it. It's not going to grab it. So close. Took it the other side. Alright, 3 mostly clean holes, 1 with a little micro pencil will knock that red out of there. Clean it up while it's warm. Be ready for the port. Probably not going to do it now. Yeah, good night, Michael. You guys. Yeah, I'm going to end it soon. I got to go put the kids up. Plus, I also need to do research. I haven't a clue what that pin is related to. And had it not been for the expertise of Lee, I would not know that it being short or showing up when I touch ground would be bad. And all the other amazing advice from the chat. Aged me 20 years doing that stupid drop method. I'm still convinced that I thoroughly broke something. It's much appreciated. We knocked him loose. Of course we did. We should just pull him out of there now. Definitely a good place to end that way. I have time to research what the hell is going on with that thing, because I don't have a clue what that test point is in association to, but I will get to find out. That's a good thing. Alright, knock that down, that's good. That is literally just right in the middle where I cannot get to it. So we use the micro pencil and the knife edge to pull that out. Anyhow, let me see what's going on. Good night, Michael, if I didn't say that. Dreams. And Lee. Going to do research before I continue any further on this. I want to see why that would be causing short, what it's related to, and I can look further from there. I don't know these well, but I do know well enough to turn on a multimeter and kind of follow the path, but I just don't. Where the hell is that going? I know it dips through the board right there. Is it right there? Let me move that out of the way. So that's gonna jump down where that. Take a quick 1-2 minute look at it. Okay, so that jumps down. There's literally let me find it. So right there, it's coming up on this. Which, let's follow that out for a moment and just talk sanity. So it's coming up in this, running around. It tells me not a damn thing because it could be going to anything. What is that chip? Is that the Realtek crab? ALC, yeah, that's audio. I don't think audio is doing that. Let's assume not. Jumps back through at that point. You know what? Look at that. Back through. Let's grab the board. I'm actually going to grab it where it's going through. It won't kill nothing. So that's hopping through the board. Back on that. And could be coming into this. So very, very well. Next target. Wonder if taking that off would change this. Alright, we're going to jump out of here. Have a good one, people. Sorry for anybody still hanging out. Being silent background. I got to go help put the kids to bed. They go back to school tomorrow. This has been absolutely terrifying. Normally I clean everything up and heat from the top side. First time I've dropped a port off of one of these. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe doing it every day would get used to it. Could probably bought better hot air station in the works, but for the amount of soldering work that I do, it'll be a little bit before I get one of those because I don't do the work often. I'm not trying to get into mainly doing game consoles, and everything that I do work on, it works fine for. But apparently, the cheap isn't fine for everything. Anyhow, take care, people. I'm getting out of here. To be continued. I'll pick this up tomorrow. What a battle that was. Jeez. What a battle. What a battle. Just remember, I'm not 42 now. I'm 62 after that shit. Oh, that's even the wrong computer. I don't have to end it there. I have to come end it here. Alright, have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Thank you so much to the people in the chat that go mental. Much, much love. Thank you for your patience and advice. Terrifying, terrifying advice, but thank you so much. With any luck, we'll be kicking off on this thing and getting it going tomorrow, I hope. I have to research. I don't know as much as I'd like to about switches, so that seems like an odd problem, but going with the advice just in my sum up, following that data line through to the other side, and if it connects to that big pad, runs up and then jumps back through the board right to where M92 T36 is. So I do have one. I'm going to have to look to see if I have any other ones in stock. I'd like a couple options in case something did happen to that other than just putting it on the board and pulling it back off. Yeah, more to come tomorrow. That was utterly terrifying. Have a good one, people. We'll see you. Just takes practice. Yeah, that is an odd short. That is an odd short, man. That's an odd short. I didn't see you in chat there, Lee. Thank you so much for the help. You and Dreams, anybody that input, I do appreciate it. But have a good one, people. I will. I'm coming back tomorrow with this. It'll be a little earlier for the across the pond, across the puddle people. I know there's a 5-hour difference in it, but yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks much.